is just a down-to-earth way of referring to kinesics, the study of bodily movements which accompany speech. This quote comes from Teach Children to Read Body Language by Leona Forrester. Because of the many roles body language takes on, it is seen as very important in today's society. I will be teaching you the basics of body language and how is it related to nonverbal communication, as well as how you should put body language together and use it effectively. In Nonverbal Communication and Body Language by Janine Segal et al., it says that body language is the use of physical behavior, expressions, and mannerisms to communicate nonverbally. This is often done instinctively rather than consciously. Body language is how you act in a conversation. Whether you know it or not, you are constantly sending and receiving nonverbal messages when interacting with others. Segal et al. Says that all of your nonverbal behaviors, the gestures you make, your posture, your tone of voice, and how much eye contact you make send strong messages. Your body language is what draws others to you, and it is possible to offend someone unless you know how to use body language effectively. It is important, but so is your nonverbal communication. In Nonverbal Communication by Charles Galloway, it says, to recognize how we say something is as important as what we say. In order to understand nonverbal communication, you must understand its 6 major functions, which is assenting, complementing, contradiction, regulating, repeating, and substituting. Nonverbal communication has specific functions by James S. Soroki says that assenting is when nonverbal communication often highlights or emphasizes some part of a verbal message. This is when you watch somebody closely to give emphasis onto what they say and do. Complementing is what reinforces the tone of verbal communication. Soroki says that a downcast expression and slumping posture might accompany words of discouragement. This means that if you're watching somebody or talking to someone who's slumping over, you can kind of guess that something not positive is going to come out of their mouth. Unless you're talking to your friend who's happy and smiling, you can guess that something happy is in their mouth. For contradicting is when you need to look back on what somebody said and reflect on it. Soroki says that regulating is movement and gestures used to regulate the flow, the pace, and the back and forth nature of our verbal communication. Repeating is when a nonverbal message repeats a verbal message. This means that if I were to talk to my friend or to talk to somebody about something rolling, I might use gestures going like this so they kind of know what I'm actually trying to say. And substituting is when a nonverbal message can take on a verbal message. If you know somebody really well, you might just throw out a gesture to say something instead of actually saying something, and they'll understand what you're trying to say. Nonverbal communication has its 6 major functions, but it's also described as more. It has 7 factors: facial expressions, posture, gestures, eye contact, touch, space, and voice. Galloway says that it is by reacting to the nonverbal cues of others that we pick up information which we can use in deciding what to do next and in determining what our role needs to be. For facial expressions, Segal et al. States that a human face is extremely expressive and able to convey countless emotions without saying a word. Facial expressions are universal and everyone uses them every day to show their emotions that they're feeling. For posture and body language by Jeffrey Smith, it says that just the way we stand or sit can communicate messages to others about how we are feeling and thinking about them. Smith uses postural echoing in his speech as an example for posture. Postural echoing is when you tell those who you're talking to that you care about what you're saying because you're copying their posture. It's actually good to copy someone's posture. If you're having a serious conversation with somebody and you're slumped over and not sitting up straight like they might be, they're going to think that you're not interested and that you don't care. For gestures are constructed in every part of our daily lives. Segal et al. Says that you may wave, point, beckon, or use your hands when arguing or speaking. This is often how you express yourself without even thinking. Mrs. Borma has talked to us a lot about gestures, and they are actually really important. If you use gestures, you're more entertaining and you're not standing 6 straight boring. It can also help people to understand more of what you're saying, because sometimes what comes out of your mouth might be different than what you're actually doing. Eye contact is how you look at somebody without speaking, which can actually say a lot of things. If you're staring at somebody when they're talking to you, that kind of gives them, tells them that you're actually caring, but if you're staring off into space, not looking at them, they're going to think that you don't give a crap at all. As for touch, we communicate a lot through touch. It's confirmed through a rough handshake or a hug with somebody who you care about. Most people can guess your relationship with the person. If you're with your friends and family, you're probably hugging them. Or if you're like me and you don't know somebody, you're going to probably just give them a handshake and not care. Space works with touch. Depending on how close you are to somebody will also determine how close you stand to them. If you're with your friends and family, you're probably huddled in a group in public. But if you're like me and you're meeting someone for the first time or you don't like somebody, you're probably going to act like it's COVID again and stand 6 feet apart from them. Lastly is voice, and voice is described by not what you say but how you say it. You should pay attention to timing and pace and volume when speaking. If you're really loud and yelling, people are going to think you're angry, but if you're quiet or talking normally, they're going to feel comfortable around you. You can use these factors of nonverbal communication effectively in your body language. It'll be how you put it together. In the end, you will use the basics of body language and factors of nonverbal communication in every aspect of your life and social situation. Segal et al. Says that it is also important to pay attention to close inconsistencies and look at nonverbal communication signals as a group and trust your instincts. You should evaluate nonverbal signals by looking at eye contact. If you're staring at somebody and paying attention, they're going to know that you're interested. If you're staring off into space, they're not going to care or think you don't care. Look at how expressive somebody is. If they're smiling and happy in class, you know they're in a good mood. If they're not really paying attention to the teacher and they're frowning, they're probably in a bad mood that day or tired. Listen to the way somebody speaks. Again, if they're loud, they're probably angry. If they're quiet and calm, you're all good. And then a few examples of body language are for the future. In Body Language Nonverbal Behavior as a Cognitive Stimulus by Philip B. Lewis, it says that closing and opening your fist can be a fight or flight kind of thing. If your hands are in your pockets or behind your back, that might represent like, oh, I don't want to be here, I don't like the people I'm around. If your arms are across your chest or close to your body, that might mean a defensive mechanism. And you can use these to decode body language, but body language is by no means an exact science. You should judge the situation that you're in and not from afar. If you're looking at somebody from afar and they might have their arms crossed and they're talking to their friend, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're upset with their friend. It could mean anything. You should be in the situation and know what's going on before you guess. As my speech has progressed, I dug deeper into body language and its role, along with nonverbal communication. I gave you tips for how to read body language and what to look for in a conversation. Now that you know more about body language, start to think about it in your next conversation and look for things you might have missed in the past. You can also help other people if you know more about it. Here is my all excited. Thank you.